Hey, how's it going, Summoners? My name is Nathan Ng, and I'll be your host for the patch 11.24 preview. This video will briefly cover the upcoming changes, and we'll let you know exactly what's getting worked on. We'll also provide you guys with an extensive change list very soon in the upcoming follow-up video. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out on future content like this, and let's get started. First on the agenda is one upcoming champion buff. Riot plans to take it slow with the new champion changes next patch. Instead, the main focus will be on the systems. That being said, the one that they do plan to buff is none other than Ivern. Just in time for Christmas too. The friend of the forest has seen his win rate drop noticeably during the following preseason changes. While tank junglers received some helpful changes and AD assassins some new items, Ivern has been left out to dry. He's struggling against the most popular junglers right now, and the balance team has some assistance planned for him next patch to compensate. Alongside the single buff, we have a single nerf to mention as well. Camille is a sole victim of the nerfs next patch. However, most of the player base likely agrees that she had it coming. A top performer for basically the past year, she's finally receiving some nerfs to make less of a good in any scenario type of pick. I'm sure the great Camille players will still find a way to adapt and continue heavily impacting the games as they always have. Well, of course, it'll depend on the exact details of the nerfs. My guess is her sustain or her passive shield will take a hit to make it easier to fight her early on. Finally, expect to see an adjustment for Gled coming up. Having seen a recent dip in popularity as well as tank builds becoming the norm, Riot will probably make adjustments to encourage AD focused builds once again. By the way, if you're trying to pick up a new champion, hit up a coach on our website ProGuides.com. There's no better time than the preseason, and we have experts specializing in every champion and role. With the champions covered, systems are next. Surprisingly, the system changes are the big ones this time around. We'll start with the buffs. Archangel Staff, Chemtech Mini Dragon buff, Hextech Mini Dragon buff, and Conqueror are on the list for the next patch. Conqueror is receiving a buff, and yeah, you heard that right. My best guess is that it's because of Lethal Tempo performing far too well on release. Players might need more of an incentive to utilize Conqueror, and Riot definitely wants to avoid a situation where it's in direct contest between the two keystones. I'm hoping that over the course of the preseason they find a way to further differentiate the two and make them more unique. With the introduction of the two new dragons, it turns out that they are slightly underperforming. Expect a simple number of buffs to both their bonus stats. Finally, Archangel Staff is also receiving a buff. It received a massive change this preseason, now taking on the role of the removed item, Rod of Ages. Now focused on providing mages with an extra boost to their ability haste and also granting them some extra sustain, this item has taken on a completely new identity. There's not much I can say about this just yet, and the big question is whether or not this is a buff to its upgrade, Seraph's Embrace as well. Again, make sure you subscribe to the channel because we'll be providing you with a full set of changes very soon. That covers the system buffs, and we'll be talking about the nerfs next. Here are the systems that you can expect to get a hit next patch. Predator, Chemtech Dragon Soul, Crown of the Shattered Queen, Cosmic Drive, Even Shroud, Frostfire Gauntlet, and Glacial Augment. It's a hefty set of changes coming up, but these all feel merited. With the exception of Predator, they're all really new or recently reworked. First, let's address Predator. It's seen a massive spike in its popularity recently. Combined with Ingenious Hunter, tons of elite players are abusing it. Most popularly used by gank-intensive junglers and mid laners that love to roam, it's actually proven to be too effective of a playmaking tool. I'd expect a cooldown or movement speed nerf coming up. While the Chemtech Dragon Stat buff has felt a little bit lackluster, the Dragon Soul counterpart sure hasn't. Basically giving anybody a brief Karthus passive has unsurprisingly proven to be too powerful. Glacial Augment has also been changed this patch. Aside from slowing enemies, it now also reduces damage. As a result, the overall utility it provides is much higher than before, especially in the late game where a 15% reduction in damage can easily save a teammate's life. While the rune is still picking up traction, Riot has quickly deemed it too powerful, so expect a nerf next patch. Several items are simply too strong at the moment, and thus we have a long list of item nerfs coming up as well. Cosmic Drive is a notable one as it basically is a purchasable phase rush. Crown of the Shattered Queen has also breathed life into some champions barely holding on. Victor is an excellent example of this, and he utilizes both the items I just mentioned rather effectively. Finally, we have some upcoming changes to Axiom Arc and Lethal Tempo. Axiom Arc is incredibly impressive in the hands of a snowballing assassin. Significantly reducing their ultimate's cooldown, AD assassins are able to score takedown after takedown, not only pulling further ahead but also crippling their opponents more and more. Then there's Lethal Tempo, and I'm sure that most players know what to expect. Riot definitely overlooked a huge detail when releasing the rune. It provides a high amount of attack speed from the get-go. In other words, it provides a flat value from start to finish, rather than a scaling one like many other keystones do. Access to 90% attack speed from level 1 has created some adverse effects, and plenty of champions were in balance with this addition in mind. Yone is a great example of this as he's able to reduce his Q and W's cooldown to late game numbers from level 1. In other words, I'm guessing that they'll have to actually scale up the rune with levels in the next patch. And that concludes our 11.24 patch preview. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know what you think about the upcoming content in the comments down below. Best of luck in your games, and I'll see you guys next time. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day. Peace.